Hello, everyone. What is going on? James here, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. But to be more specific, the final episode of the podcast on a regular basis. So I'll just be upfront and say why I'm taking a step back from the podcast instead of waffling on too much. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't have much motivation to do it anymore at the moment on a regular basis. To be honest with you. And I guess I'm trying to think when this specifically happened, to be honest. I might just look through the episodes and try and find which ones I enjoy, but like the recent ones, I've just been bloody thinking to myself, like, man, I'm just a bit bored, you know. Um, I'm just a bit like, I don't know. Let's look through the episode, shall we? So tier lists. I think I was a bit bored with tier lists, to be honest. The World Pursuit allegations. No, I think I didn't mind that one too much. Pokemon Presents. I was a little bit bored, can't lie. Callum's Corner, Smithen. I think, yeah, after the Callum's Corner one, that's sort of when I started feeling a bit like, man, I'm not really as up for it. But I remember we had a mad month with the podcast because you had a fair few episodes in February. I think it was something like, what was it, 6 episodes in February, which is crazy. And I was really enjoying the podcast. Did I overload myself and bloody do that one and then think to myself, oh man, I've done too much now, I've done too much? Or, is it just me not enjoying it much in general? I've got no idea, to be honest with you. Much I should have an idea because it's me feeling this way. I guess I don't know. Yeah, that's probably it. Really, it's just the thing is, I feel like usually with podcasts, I'd look forward to them, but then probably since that Callum's Corner one, that reaction video, I just haven't been looking as forward to them. I've seen it more as a hassle, and then it probably was the tier list one where I thought, bloody hell, I'm just so just bloody fed up and annoyed and bored. You know. But yeah, so I'm trying to think that probably is it really. Just I wasn't looking as forward to it as I usually would, and I'd enjoy the podcasts while I was doing them, but it was just sort of like, I don't know, I just sort of after while I was doing them, I still enjoyed it, but then after and before, I was thinking, oh bloody hell, I've not really that bothered, man. And I mean, for me with the podcast, because the podcast just isn't popular at all, the only incentive to do it is because I enjoyed it, and I did enjoy it for a while. But we were doing some streams on Twitch, and then I just started thinking to myself, like, man, I enjoy this so much more, just like playing Minecraft or Fall Guys or Rocket League with the lads and streaming it. I just enjoy that way more because you get the fun of a podcast because you can still have conversations and discussions, but yet it flies by quite quick because you're playing a game, and also you don't have to have loads of conversations because, well, there's no pressure to have conversations. It's not like you're just going to sit there like this and not have much to say because you're going to be focusing on the game as well. So that's sort of why I like that as well a lot more. And I've never actually streamed with my mates before because I thought to myself, oh man, it's going to be difficult setting everything up. But it's pretty much just getting them in a Discord call, and that was it. It worked fine. Their audio was fine. Everything was pretty much fine, fortunately. So I was 100% glad about that. And yeah, the streams have been a lot of fun. And what's hilarious is that they actually get more views than the podcast, which is hilarious. Like the pods usually get 5, 6 views. The streams sometimes get 20 odd views, 30 odd views. And again, that streams are going to get more views on Twitch, but still, and I get that podcasts aren't really like a popular form of content unless you have the big guests on. They're not really that popular, or unless you're like some famous person. But even then, you've got people like Moist Critical who have got a podcast, the official podcast, but yet that's his least viewed content pretty much out of the majority of stuff he does. And the podcast is great that he makes, you know. But yeah, I guess it is what it is, you know. If there's like what 200 episodes, at the end of the day, you are going to get a bit bored and fed up at some point, aren't you? I honestly didn't think I would. I thought I'd be doing podcasts for ages and ages on a regular basis and not get bored of it. But at the end of the day, I guess there does come a day when you are a bit bored and fed up, and when you haven't got an incentive to do a podcast or anything apart from your enjoyment, then what's the point? You know, I can't be forcing things, otherwise, in the long run, they are going to become boring and bad for me. Like, I'd just be fed up. I'd feel like I'm wasting my time. I'd rather do a podcast once every month or 2 months and still do them and still enjoy them when I'm doing them, rather than like trying to do one every week or every 2 weeks for a while and then just quitting it completely, you know. And who knows, as I say, down the line I could come back to it, but for now I just don't feel like it. When it comes to Aaron on the podcast, I mean, he hasn't been on any for ages, but I mean, if he were to come back, I mean, I've got no clue if he's going to or not. I've asked him about it, and he just sort of said, well, not up for it at the moment, not motivated to do anything YouTube related, so but I might come back one day. So to me, that's, I guess, I don't know, part of me thinks that that's basically saying, oh, I'm not going to come back to the podcast, but because he's not putting a day on it. But I suppose he genuinely doesn't feel like it at the moment, and if he does feel like it, he will come back. So fair play to him. Now, when it comes to my schedule and everything, like, I'm not just some dude who works part-time or is out of work, or I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working part-time, but I'm not this dude who like has a lot of free time. I work 8 hours and 15 minutes for 6 days and I get 3 days off. I do that on a rotation. I work shifts. You know, I do have a full-time job, so I'm not like some dude who has a lot of free time to mess around with. Pardon me. So, you know, I want to spend my time wisely. Another thing as well, obviously, I enjoy streaming, but also my James the Coltrane content. I want to try and focus on that a lot more. I want to basically focus on that and streaming and not really deal with anything else, just because I feel like I can make some really good videos on James the Coltrane with the videos I got planned. They are massive ones that are going to take ages, but I don't know. I've just been able to like put so much more time into that rather than doing like an hour and a half, 2 hour podcast, you know. So I'm very glad about that. And that I've been making more progress on these big videos that I want to do. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you got to do what you enjoy doing, haven't you? You got to spend your time how you want to spend it. I was actually going to do a finale podcast with someone who has been on the podcast multiple times before, but he just said he couldn't do it. He's currently doing a stream for 40,000 subs, so fair play to him. He didn't tell me that originally. I just saw that he's doing a 40,000 sub stream instead. If he just told me that, I would have been like, cool. I was like, cool anyway. I'm not really bothered. To be honest, it gave me more time to work on this new video I've got planned. And to be honest, if you are famous, but if you are doing well on the YouTube, you've got to prioritize your own stuff, you know, when you can. So fair play to the lad. And he's been on loads of podcasts before and shouted them out. So fair play to him, man. Respect. Works really hard at the YouTube, man. He does. Actually, why am I not saying his name? Molly Boy. He works really hard at the YouTube, man. The amount of videos he puts out there, bro. Fair play to him. Big respect. And the thing is, when I see people like that succeed, you know, I think to myself, it shows that there's chances for you. You know, he's worked his arse off. He's got there. It shows there's chances for anyone to make it big on the platform. So unlikely, the odds are against you. You know, everything's stacked against you, but at the end of the day, it shows there is that chance, there is that opportunity. But yeah, what can I say? I don't know. Might as well talk a bit about the history of the podcast. I think I've said about the podcast's origin a fair few times before, but not recently. So basically, me and Aaron were just having a laugh, DMs, voice messages, and we said, oh man, you know, we have some good convos. Obviously, we couldn't broadcast what we were saying on DMs because it was mad stuff that was in reference to like our lives and people in our lives and stuff, and people we know and that we're mates with, so, or that we were mates with, you know, and all that jazz. But we thought these are some interesting analytical discussions here. discussing why this person did this, why this person did that. This was funny when this person did this. Interesting. Maybe they could have done this because of this reason. And to be honest, yeah, it was pretty cool. We started the podcast. I really enjoyed it, man. And a part of me did think, oh man, this can do well. You know, if we do enough episodes, this can do well. And yeah, I mean, we had some few different people on. I think can't remember. I don't know if it was episode 20. Aaron was like, look, I can't. He was like, oh look, I can't record the podcast anymore. I'm not going to be on as many podcasts. I was like, yeah, fair enough, man. Yeah, fair enough. And then I sort of started recording them. And originally, they were recorded in rubbish ways. Like I think I used my DSLR camera and then did a call on my laptop. And obviously, I should have put more effort into actually recording things properly. I think we used Zoom as well at one point. And that was a good way to do it. What else was there? Oh yeah, then we moved on to StreamYard. And then we bought the paid version of StreamYard, and boom, here we are. But I will be getting rid of StreamYard for the next episodes whenever they are, just because I don't see the point in paying for it if I'm not going to do podcasts on the regular. Yeah. But anyway, so I guess, we've had some. I'd say, if actually I might as well get the episodes up right now, to be honest, and discuss them. Let me get them up. Oh yeah, of course, because a few of them were live streams, weren't they? And then some of them were just bloody just normal videos. All right, I might as well just get the podcast playlist up. I won't get it up on the screen, but I just might, discuss the guests and whatever. Actually, I forgot to get rid of insert the description here. That is not good. Right, there's Dan Schneider's a creep, and there's the where was the episode in the middle? I don't even know why I'm bothered because I'm not really belter video this I just saw someone put some on the Callum's Corner podcast. Belter video this one, lads. Oh man, that's good of them, whoever they were. Oh bloody hell, where's the episode 208? I don't know why I'm getting so annoyed about this. Well, I'm not annoyed, but yeah, tier list, that's where it bloody is. Oh, for God's sake, I didn't put that in my I didn't put that in. I'm rambling on now. I just need to get the playlist up and look through it. Oh, for fuck's sake, what's going on here? There we go. Before I talk about the episodes, I just want to say, anyone who did give up their time to come on the podcast, honestly, it means a shit ton. I do truly appreciate it. Any guests, thank you for giving up your time. However, just want to give a big shout out to George, DW Boy 14. Came on a shit ton of podcasts, bro. So much respect to him for giving up so much of his time. Why does it keep doing this, man? Fucking stupid thing. I know why it keeps doing it. It's because it loads, so I'm trying to click mute, and then for some reason it clicks the skip button, so it goes on to the next podcast. Very annoying. But yeah, big thanks to George. Another big thanks to Liam as well. But yeah, I'm scrolling through the podcast now, so obviously, oh shit, it only goes down to 200 episodes. Bloody hell. Sorry, 12 episodes. So that's the first one. I must not be able to scroll before episode 12 then, I guess. I hope Aaron hasn't bloody got rid of them or something stupid. But obviously, I'd say episode 69 is when it got really good. A YouTube talk, hierarchies discussion. Then you got the mental health episode with Scott. Then you got Edbound in episode 71, and the history of Callum's Corner 72. Doctor Who Adventures, conspiracy theories, Tosspot, Edbound again. Hollywood versus YouTube. The Main Enthusiast, LOTW Studios, and the in-person podcast ASMR one, reviewing Harry Potter films, talking about Lego, Tosspot on Roll, new gen consoles worth the hype. Gampat, The Gaul in episode 86, John Brick in 87, Kebab Customs in 88, The Mandalorian. We have a massive one with Tosspot Jersey and Hakel. We talk about the Cornetto trilogy. Molly Boy comes on in episode 105. I think he originally came, Deck originally came on, I think, was it episode 61 or something? If I scroll down, I'll be able to find it. Yeah, episode 60 was in. Funky Dinosaur was the first guest, so I appreciate him, coming on, and like the first guest that I wasn't friends with and got to come on the podcast. Where are we? Where is he? I was going to say, there he is, yeah, episode 25, Funky Dinosaur, big respect. Did we get any other guests on after that? I don't think we did. Yeah, we didn't get any other guests on who hadn't been on before. No, Professor Goat, the man, the myth, the legend. I think he was episode 110, wasn't he? The first time he came on. Yeah, episode 112, Professor Goat, legend of the game. So yeah, I guess talking a bit about the podcast, obviously that was oh, for goodness sake, George, for goodness sake, but thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Help, he's got us captured. For God's sake, you twat. I'm not. Why'd you have to be such an idiot? We'd come again if you let us out of this basement. Of course, it's a good one. Don't forget. Oh, for God's sake, the bloody takeovers. I've crossed the tab off now anyway, but I guess we can talk about the takeover. Should have got Callum on the pod, but he stuck down here with us. Okay, so basically, with Callum's Corner coming on the podcast, I did try and message him. I emailed him. I did discuss it with him on Twitter. However, I got to do a podcast with him on Jersey's Corner Table podcast. However, Jersey quit YouTube and got rid of every video he's ever done, which I think is a bit strange. I think if you do quit YouTube, you should still keep your content up there and all that jazz. I don't think you should be getting rid of or privatizing your content unless it's something really daft. I don't think you should get rid of everything, especially something as monumental as getting Callum's Corner on the podcast. And it was awesome. I mean, I was going a bit mad. I was really fanboying out. I was really happy to talk to him and have a laugh with him. I was like, yes, legend, because I thought, damn, this bloke's just such a funny geezer, man. Obviously, if that happened now, I wouldn't be as. I'm just not the same person as I was back then, man. I'm not as like bonkers and daft. Well, I guess I am still bonkers and daft, but I'm not like that daft, But yeah, so what is there to say about the podcast as well? I guess it's been there for me in good times to make me feel better. I've felt even better after a good day and I go on the podcast. I've had a good laugh. In bad times, it's helped me. It's been a good distraction. I don't know, man. I just really enjoy streaming. My streaming name is WikiJanta. So if you want to see, content with all of us talking and having a laugh, me, Liam, George, Ben, definitely tune into WikiJanta streams 100% on Twitch. What the hell else is there to say, really? I mean, as I say, I did want to do one. Jersey's down here as well. I'll kick the crap. No, don't do that, George. If that was true, don't do that. But yeah, what else is there to really say? I mean, this is definitely going to be like the shortest podcast ever. One of, probably not the shortest ever, but it's definitely up there. I'll drink a bit more Guinness. Oh, for God's sake, you bloody bellend. For God's sake. I love how not the final stream, but the final podcast on a regular basis is just this absolute daftness where you've got bloody me on the Club Brick stream with the headset on and a t-shirt on my head. Bloody ridiculous, George. I mean, George, have you got anything you want to say in the comments? Do you want to say how much of a laugh you've had on the podcast, or like what the best thing was for you? I guess the Christmas specials and the summer specials were always fun. What else was quite funny? Oh yeah, the takeovers, as you mentioned. To be honest, my favourite takeovers of yours are when they were really shit, but me and Aaron would keep criticising them and taking the piss out of them. That was the funniest thing because it felt like a weird Ricky Gervais XFM type thing. That was really funny. I do like Liam's a lot better just because they are more structured and are And his intro was hilarious, man. While yours is, I don't know, I feel like Liam's stuff was more like for everyone to enjoy, while yours was just sort of like mostly stuff that you were interested in. You've got some odd fantasies, mate. You need to get some help. Bloody hell. But no, I won't be doing a poo stream. But yeah, it was you and Liam takeovers. I did want Ben to do one. I did want Aaron to do one, but I think Ben was just like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't have any ideas on what I do for this. Thank you. And then Aaron was just sort of like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Not bothered. Yeah, which is fair enough. I mean, I like to do a James takeover. But I don't know. The summer specials and the Christmas specials are sort of like a James takeover. Like I make my own intro for them. I say we'll do this segment. I bring all the random topics in. So technically, they're sort of like the James takeovers. So yeah. I guess a part of me was sort of thinking to myself, because as I say, I was going to get Deck on, but he's doing his 40,000 subscriber special live stream. I was kind of thinking, oh man, it would be so nice if he could share the stream, and then as one like big final hoorah to the podcast on a regular basis, I'd get like, I don't know, 50 viewers at once, or 60 viewers, or 70 viewers, or 80 viewers, and loads of people commenting. But at the end of the day, man, I truly believe that down the line, if the James the Coltrane stuff does well, which I think in a certain way will do well, I'm hoping that it does amazing. I'm hoping to become the next Axeman in some sort of way, you know. But it might not. But I feel like even if the Complete Saga video only gets like a few thousand views, maybe that gets a few people interested and they hop over to the Twitch live streams. You know, I've still got a few, you know, I get a few people commenting on the Twitch. I've got that random Russian geezer. Sean comments on the streams, you know. And maybe one day loads of people will comment. But at the end of the day, I suppose the most important thing is that your streams are actually good. And I'd like to, I honestly think, man, the podcast absolutely bloody slaps. Podcast has been brilliant, but I definitely think the special should still happen because the Christmas ones are the best. Fly high, Jimmy. Yeah, I'd never really think about the Christmas ones too much because, in a sense, I rate them highly because it's like James takes over. I say, let's do this, talk this, do blah 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 blah. So, in a sense, you think they're like my personal favorite, but I don't know. Like they are a lot of fun and they are quite funny. But yeah, I guess you can put them up there. Like there's never been a bad Christmas one. I've always thought they're really good. We all get together and have a laugh. So yeah, I guess they are. Congrats on 4 subs, Deck. You mean 40k? James takes over every episode, bro. I wish I could, bro. If I had the power to stop you from being edgy, bro, I'd be bloody king of the world by now. Hashtag fly high, Jimmy. I appreciate that bit at the end as well. As long as you haven't somehow made it some edgy joke. Now that I think about it, I'm worried it's an edgy joke, but hopefully it is hot. Fly high, James the Coltrane. Hopefully. But yeah, the podcast, I've got to say, man, objectively, I think they do slap. I think we all bounce off of each other very well because obviously we are mates in real life. I know Aaron hasn't really come out and had many laughs in recent times. I know I went drinking with him, but obviously you lot weren't able to come. But still, you know, me, you and Liam and Ben, we still hang out. We still have a good laugh. We are mates. We bounce off each other really well. Well, I guess a lot of podcasts, some of the people aren't really friends, are they? Oh, you twat. You absolute twat. I knew you'd do this. I'm disgusted, George. I'm absolutely disgusted at you. But yeah. The summer special will... Well, I don't know if I will be able to do a summer special or not. Probably will be able to. The more I think... Yeah, even though I'm off for a lot of August... And hopefully I am going to go abroad in August, me and my family. I think I can fit a summer special in. Definitely do my best to do a Christmas special. Yeah, should be all right. Should be able to do one still. If not, we can do an autumn special in September, October, and still do a Christmas special. I do want to review the Bad Batch season 3 with Liam. I'm pretty sure he should be up for it. Maybe the Shrek films as well if he watches. When it comes to things like SpongeBob, I I would like to review season 2 and 3 in the film. I'll see what Liam wants to do. What other podcasts? Maybe some drama that's really interesting once in a while. It was an edgy joke. Let's me it for you. What are you on about? Anyway, what else can I say, really? The podcast has had its highs. We're literally going drinking. Yeah, exactly. Like tomorrow, me, you, and Ben are going drinking. And we did invite Liam, but he's not as... He's more of a dude now who's more bothered about, like, you know, going places and having a whip round. And he doesn't like just sitting in places drinking. He likes doing stuff, which is fair play to him. But I don't mind. I'll do a lot of different things, man. I like going for a drink. I like traveling places. I like just having a laugh at a friend's house, you know, and playing games. I'm pretty much down for a fair few different things, you know. And Liam is pretty much down for everything. He just doesn't enjoy going to a pub and just drinking and having a laugh as much as he used to. He still does once in a while. But yeah, me, you, and Ben are going drinking. So we are genuine mates. Well, as I say, a lot of people who collab, they aren't. I mean, look at Tubbo and Wilbur. They're in loads of videos together. Look at what happened with them. He's like, oh, well, I can't count how many times I've talked. I can count on my fingers how many times I've talked to him in DMs. And then he's like, yeah, I think he's guilty. And it's like, bro, you've been in loads of videos together. Surely you've had some conversations. Like, how can you throw your friends under the bus like that? However, us lot, we would not be throwing each other under the bus unless there was evidence against us. You know, none of us are going to support evil actions. But say if we did something bad, you know, you want proof that it actually be done. You can't be turning on your friends straight away. Muhammad Ali said something very wise years ago. He wrote a poem about friends and friendship. And, you know, he said at the end of the day, be thankful when God sends you good friends. Don't be begging for money and riches. Because at the end of the day, you can have 20 million quid. But I'd honestly rather have 5 true friends than 20 million quid. Because at the end of the day, 20 million quid, what's that going to do for you? You're going to get people after you for money who want to hang around with you just for cash. Or, you know, you might get a missus who's just after you just for cash. Your distant family might just be wanting to hang around with you just for cash. But if you've got 5 true friends who are there to listen, the money doesn't have any sympathy. The money can't give you advice. The money can't be there for you and listen to your problems and be your friend, while friends can do that for you. You can have a laugh with friends. You can't go and have a laugh with money and go drinking with money. It's a physical thing. Season specials will be good. Xmas, Christmas is permanent. Yeah, I'll keep doing them every year as long as I'm available. And, you know, I'm not trying to be morbid or horrible, but as long as I'm here in the world, as long as the world doesn't get sucked into a black hole, as long as because anything can happen, bro, anything can happen, you know what I'm saying? But I intend on, you know, living till I'm 85, 90, and I hope and pray that I'm able to. But yeah, as long as I'm still here, man, as long as I have the facilities to laptop, all this jazz, basically, as long as I'm able to and still on planet Earth, I will do a podcast every Christmas. And as long as I'm available to do it, as long as I'm not stupidly busy. Yeah, it has to be an interesting drama, but yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that once a month or every month and a half or whatever. But yeah, man, like the streams, I just felt like I enjoyed them so much, bro. They were such a good laugh, man. And that hopefully there's way more laughs to come with all the streams, like the Minecraft one on was the next Minecraft session. Tuesday, if you're up for it, George, Tuesday the 23rd, I think it is. And then one on Sunday, the 28th of April. Actually, no, I think we were going to say we're going to play Fall Guys first, then Minecraft. Like Fall Guys for an hour, then Minecraft. But yeah, you know, what else is... Oh, yeah, I was not going to get up... I don't know. Was I going to get up some more stuff in regards to the podcast? I'm a little bit gutted that as much as I was happy I was able to get so much progress done tonight on the Lego Star Wars review, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, I am kind of gutted that the last podcast before this on a regular back. Oh shit, I'm moving the podcast around. No, get back up there. No. Oh shit, I'm accidentally moved. Oh no, I've fucked up the playlist. Oh shit, I've fucked up the playlist. Oh no. Hold on. Oh, bloody hell. I think I moved. Oh, shit. I think I might have moved one of the episodes. That could be why the tier list one isn't there. I must have moved the tier. Oh, for fuck's sake. I think I've fucked up the playlist a bit. Oh balls! Oh balls! Bloody hell! Yeah, I fucked it up. Soiled it. Never mind. As I say, I'm getting rid of StreamYard, so we won't be able to have any silliness like this. We won't be able to do this anymore. We won't have the ALP podcast as the background. Oh, you are George. Oh, wait, I'm not. There we go. George, don't you dare do that. That'd be absolutely horrible. Don't you bloody do that. Yes, Minecraft. Well, Liam said he can't do the one on Tuesday, but hopefully Jonah. I think Jonah's up for it and you're up for it. And yes, Fall Guys. I mean, yeah, I don't want to prepare for this stuff because that's ridiculous. But I mean, I guess if I'm an old man and pass away, it would be cool if I don't know if Aaron's still alive as well to for him to do a podcast just saying, yeah, thanks to James for having a good laugh. He's a good mate, good guy, good man. Yeah, or you. I like to think there might be some sort of tribute video saying, you know, he did what he wanted to do. He was an all right guy, a decent man. Hopefully, he's having a good time in heaven. I'm not being arrogant. I'm not trying to say, oh, I'll definitely get there 100%, but I'll give it my all to repent for my sins and hopefully get there. So hopefully I'll be having a good time there. And yeah, hopefully I've made some amazing content. I mean, I don't know how long I plan on doing content for. I'm thinking like on James the Coltrane, probably from like now to 2033. But it depends how my life goes, doesn't it? It depends how my life goes. I think in 2033, I'd probably, well, basically, like, it just depends on your life and your situation and stuff, doesn't it? If I have the time, I feel like I'll have the time to do it for the next 10 years, but I feel, well, for the next 9 years or whatever. I feel like probably early 2030s, mid 2030s, I might not have the time to do it just because things get in the way. If you're lucky, you get in a long-term relationship with someone, you have kids, you might get a dog, might not have the time, But who knows? Sometimes you can make the time for these things. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But who knows? Somehow in 6 years, I could make YouTube my bloody job. Somehow, you never know. I could have a load of videos that do well, and then that's just my job for forever. Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, for fuck's sake! It's so sad. It's just edgy madness. It's just like why couldn't I don't know. Why couldn't it have been something better? Oh God, I don't want to. Anything can happen, bro. Anything can happen. I mean, he does have diabetes, and I don't know if he'll ever. I don't know any really old people with diabetes, but with how fat he is, I mean, he's sorting himself out, man. He's gradually sorting himself out and working hard to sort himself out. But George, you eat rubbish food, And Ben lives quite a wild lifestyle with all of his drinking. And Liam will be here in 1,000 years' time. He's a bloody part cyborg. But no, my point is anything can happen, man. I could live like the healthiest life ever, and then at like age 55, get ill and pass away or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or I could live like the worst life ever and end up eating unhealthy and be not looking after myself and live till like 70 or 80. So anything can happen. Anything can happen, man. Absolutely anything. But yeah, not the last episode though. The last episode on a regular basis, to be correct. But yeah, it is quite a funny, edgy, mad way to send off the podcast being regular. But yeah, I think even if I somehow did make YouTube my job, I'd only do, like, say if James the Coltrane worked out really well, I'd only do podcasts on a regular basis if I wanted to, if I had the desire, if I enjoyed it. And who knows, done the podcast for nearly 5 years now. Maybe a few years down the line, I think, oh man, I want to do some more podcasts. Or maybe 5 years down the line, or a few years down the line, I'm still enjoying doing streaming more so. So we've just got to see how it goes, man. Anything can happen, I love how you have all these mad random accounts, though. It's just absolute edgy insanity from you. But yeah, as I say, I really do think objectively the podcast slaps. And you know what? If there's never any podcast on a regular basis again, and it's just once a month, once every 2 months, or even longer than that, I do hope that, you know, at some point it is looked at as like similar to XFM, how, you know, no one was particularly that bothered. Obviously, XFM was bigger when XFM was on, like the Ricky Gervais XFM podcasts and broadcasts, whatever. When that was happening, obviously that was way bigger than ALP. But my point is, like, after the fact, that's when so many people got interested in it and thought it was hilarious. So hopefully, years later, people watch 214 episodes of this, and they're looking at all the funny moments and all the funny madness. And to be honest, as I say, it's a lot better at episode 69 afterwards. But still, even if you go up from episode 69 onwards, they're still like, what, 131 is 200 episodes, so that would be plus 14. So what am I talking about? 100, yeah, 131. So that's pretty much still 141 episodes, isn't it? So not 141, sorry. 131 plus. What am I doing? It's just 69 minus 68, because episode 69 was really good. 214 minus 68. So that's still 146 episodes, which I'm not saying every episode was dynamite and hilarious, but you know, that's still like a lot of good episodes to go through and enjoy. And I mean, some of them were really long, as I say, and you know, quite funny. I'll have another swig of Guinness, and I guess I'll say a few more words. And with things that I do creatively, I never. Oh yeah, Liam will become the Terminator, definitely. But with things I do creatively, I don't want to be one of these people who says, "I'm taking a break, coming back now, taking a break, coming back now, taking a break." Because when you're like that and you're undecided, you really should just quit, or just take a massive extended break. So in a sense, even though I said I don't think Aaron will come back, and it seems like he probably won't come back to YouTube and stuff, it's better to be like that rather than umming and ahhing about stuff. But yeah, I feel like the best thing to do is either be like that, Sam, taking a massive break, or just say I'm going to do things once in a while. Which is pretty much what I'm doing, really. I'm just doing things once in a while, aren't I? I did want to say, though, I've mentioned the good things about the podcast and things I enjoy. I did actually just want to mention shit things about the podcast and doing a podcast and all that jazz. Bro, the worst things, in my opinion, especially when you have a full-time job and a pretty stressful full-time job, bro, it's so bloody annoying, man, having to organise things, message people, and then people say, I'm pulling out, or I'm tired, or this, that, the other. The worst is when I've tried to get guests on, and they've said like multiple times, oh yeah, I'll do it, and then they say I don't want to do it. I had one really enjoyed his content. I think he was a Halo YouTuber, and he said, yeah, I'll come on. Then I messaged him on day, you up for the podcast still? No response. You up for the podcast? No response. I'm thinking, but why not just tell me in the first sodding place that you don't want to do the podcast? That's the thing that pisses me off, right? People think when they're, and this can be for anything, people think when they're and ah, and then pull out of things at the last second that you don't want to say, oh, I don't want to do this because you don't want to hurt the person's feelings. Bro, hurt my feelings, say to me that you don't want to do it. I don't care. The thing that pisses me off is when people waste my time or pull out at the last second. You know, it's just really, really annoying, man. I'd rather people be honest than people really fart me around. How have you skipped 5 episodes? What are you on about? What do you mean? Oh, shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I'm an idiot. I don't know how I did that. For fuck's sake, I'm so sorry. Oh, I don't even know. This shows my head's not in the podcast anymore, man. My head is not in the podcast anymore. For God's sake, how did I fuck? Well, thanks for telling me, George, because that would have looked dog shit if I just left it like that forever. Just bloody hell. I can't believe I was like, I have 214 episodes, amazing, blah, blah, blah. It adds this much on. And I'm like, no, there's only 210 episodes. Oh, well, 210 is still good. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, well, that's just the podcast for you. Sometimes it's a bit of a talking about shit things on the podcast. Poo stream, that's not happening. Come on, Doc's the guest. Bro, I can't remember the dude's name. I can't remember the Halo YouTuber's name. It's not someone. I only watched a few of his videos, and they were decent, but I was mostly just trying to get a guest on the podcast, if I'm being brutally honest. I was interested to talk to him, but I thought, let's try and get some guests on. But obviously, bro, it's such a faff, man. Just in general, though, I feel like everyone's just so busy, man. Like, I've tried to get people on to review things. I'm not on about the squad, by the way, but other people I've tried to get on. And multiple times I've tried to arrange things, and they've been like, I can't do this day. I've got arrangements this day. I've got arrangements this day. And it's like, bro, I'm a really busy person as well. It's not like I'm some dude who just messes around all the time and he's just some waste man who just does sod all and has all the free time in the world. Bro, I'm a busy person, man. And it just, every time someone pulls out, by the way, I'm not on about Molly Boy pulling out today because it's whatever. I've only asked him to do another podcast like, what, today? Well, a couple of weeks ago I said, do you want to do it this day? He said, yeah. Then today he pulled out to do his bloody 40k stream, so whatever. But other people, man, I've tried to get on multiple times and they've just been like, busy this day, doing this. And it's like, I know they can't help it. And they have been on podcasts in the past, but I'm like, bloody hell. To be fair, and when I said to this person, I was like, look, I don't want to, I'm taking a break from the podcast. I'm just going to scrap it for now. This podcast I planned with you. And he's like, yeah, that's fair enough, man. Yeah. 240 is my aim with the pod. As I say, who knows? Like 5 years down the line, I could want to do loads of episodes again. Originally, I was aiming like 300, 350 because I was thinking, oh, I'll still be doing podcasts the next 10 years, enjoying it. But I guess it just doesn't work like that sometimes, man, you know. And I feel like this has happened for the best, bro. I feel like focusing on James the Coltrane, at least I'll be able to make, even if the content doesn't do that well, views wise, at least I've made the stuff that I wanted to make, and hopefully I've made it amazing. Hopefully it is the magnum opus of my content. And with hosts are a bit useless to get on, even with no comment. And obviously you're not talking about me, you're talking about the co-host. Well, to be fair, I said to the I'm not going to beat around the bush. I said to Aaron, look, I've taken your name out of the description because it is just me on the podcast now. You haven't been on for ages and you haven't told me if and when you're coming back, so I'm just putting it as me. And he said, yeah, that's fine. So I wouldn't say, if you're referring to Aaron, I wouldn't say he's useless to coming on. It's just sort of like, I don't know. I don't want to analyze people too much on the podcast, especially personal people who are co-owners of this channel and are well, you probably won't watch this, but especially this bit. But I guess I've said this to you in private, and hardly anyone's going to watch this, so who cares? But I personally think the reason he doesn't want to do YouTube or stuff anymore, he's just the type of dude who, because he didn't work before the job he's got now, I feel like he's just sort of focusing on work and saving some cash, I guess. I don't know. And he just seems like the sort of dude who's like, works my life, come home, go to sleep, eat, walk the dog. He's going to the gym, so I respect that. That's cool. So go to the gym, walk the dog, and go to bed. I guess that's sort of what I feel like he's doing with his life for now, and go to the shops, get food, etc. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like he's just sort of the dude who's like making work his life for now, and that's just it. That's just the other three. Oh fuck. Well, there you go. Then there you go. The other three. Which other three were you on about? I mean, if you're on about Molly Boy, he's come on multiple podcasts before, but there has been times in the past where it's been a battle to get him on, and he's been like, I've got to pull out of this, over and over again. But I've wanted him to come on because the podcasts he's on are really good. He's amazing on podcasts, bro. He's phenomenal. The other person, He can't help it, man. He's got a family. He can't really. I feel like it is genuine stuff because he's been on the podcast before. And then if there's a third person, I'm trying to think who that third person even is. Oh, wait, yeah, the Halo person. Yeah, that's ridiculous, yeah. Watch ALP become a civil war. Watch this become an ALP civil war. Well, Aaron's not bothered. I feel like the worst he'd say is, yeah, that's weird. Very strange that you brought that up, and you. That's what I think Aaron would. That's what I personally think Aaron would say. And if I was in a like you get where I'm coming from with that, because we aren't, because of situations and stuff, because of my work, and basically he works at the same place as me, but he's on a different team. So when I'm off, he's doing a shift. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to match up the schedules. He goes to the gym the same amount of hours as you. What are you on about? He doesn't, bro. Bro, I go to the gym loads. How's he going 8 hours to the gym? Oh no, Liam, Ben, and Az. Oh, obviously. I mean, Ben's straight up and honest. Like with podcasts, he's sort of like, well, I'm not really interested in this one, to be honest with you. Sometimes he has pulled out of stuff, but most time he's like, well, I'm not really bothered. I'm not really bothered. But he has pulled out a fair bit. But again, he just sort of said, well, I'm not bothered about this one. I don't want to do this one. Oh, I'll do this one. Liam, he does show up quite a bit, but he has just messaged and said, I'm tired. I'm not doing it. Which, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I'm really exhausted. There's been so many podcasts where I've just bloody felt like going to sleep on the stream. Like I've hid it really well, but like, bro, there's so many situations and times where I've just had to push through things. You know what I'm saying? And that's the sort of person I am. But with Liam, it's not his channel. It's not his podcast. He's just a guest. So maybe that's why he just says I'm tired and doesn't want to do it. And Aaron, yeah, I mean, I mentioned the stuff about Aaron, didn't I? So I respect people's decisions, man. I'm not going to be some oddball dictator and say, you have to come on, you have to come on, you have to do this, you have to do this, blah, 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 you know. I just think that's really unproductive. And all it's going to do is piss people off. I mean, one dude whose videos I used to be in, who we used to be friends with, who used to be in the squad. I remember I was showing up for an Apex stream, or I don't know if it was Apex or something else. I think it might have been, no, it was a recording session for We Were Here or We Are Here or whatever. It was just like, no, you aren't going to do 2 fucking hours. No, you need to stay for the whole fucking thing because you just leave halfway through like you did with the previous stream. And I was like, bro, there's no need to talk to people like that. How the fuck are you going to get anyone on any of your videos if you're going to be a complete prick? You know, there's a way to ask things. You could just say, I mean, for God's sake, if someone gave up an hour of their time to be on some shitty stream, and okay, his streams, I mean, I know you don't like his streams, but I thought Barnacle streams are pretty funny, some of them. But again, if someone's giving up your time, you should be grateful. You shouldn't be like, oh, you left early. Bro, I gave up a lot of time to be on that dude's streams, man. So he should have been grateful. Not this was 2019, he said this, but yeah, he shouldn't have been like that at all. That's fucking pathetic. Very immature. Hopefully people who join his streams now, he doesn't say that sort of stuff too. But yeah, if someone kept leaving early, I mean, if it was something like a GTA heist where you need 4 people, I'd be a bit like, well, I'd just say if it was somewhere you needed 4 people, like it had to be 4 people, I'd say, look, you know, we need a 4th person. We don't mind, we'll have to end the stream now, but next time, could you make sure you got more time? I try and be polite because these people are giving up your time. Az goes to the gym. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant, yeah, I was going to say I work like 8 hours 15. Like, bro, how is Aaron would be bloody John Cena if he was putting any of that effort in. Goodness gracious. The 1 week I had to work 10 hours. Sorry, not the 1 week. The one day I had to work from 8 till 6 because I had to pay back some time. I don't want to do a sleep stream because the problem is, all right, I'll show you what the problem would be, right? Oops, let me get her. All right, so basically, if I was like doing a sleep stream, like I'd be sleep. Can I be heard well? I'll just move some stuff around. Actually, no, I want to keep this safe. Actually, I won't put that on the floor. But basically, like, if I was doing a sleep stream, like I'm over here, can you hear me well? Like, I need to do it on OBS, and I need to actually, you know, like, I need to do it on OBS so things could be played and done. But I know what you do. I'd probably never do a sleep stream, to be honest. But I know exactly what you do, bro. You just put the stupidest, worst comments ever, and I'd be asleep. Then I'd wake up and be like, bro, he's put something stupid on here, man. He's definitely done something stupid. Then I'll look through all the comments, and you'll be putting like the worst bloody stuff ever on there. You know what I'm saying? You'll be putting like some awful stuff. You know, like just trying to wind me up and be a complete bloody pillock about it all. You know, that's personally what I think, for a laugh. But I don't know. Hopefully, you just keep it at a normal level. But I feel like you just think to yourself, bro. I feel like you think to yourself, man. I'm just gonna like do whatever the hell I want and just go a bit mad. Can we make me? No, I'm not. As I say, I'm never like making. Even though I accidentally admitted your co-host, I'm never like changing the rules, if that makes sense. So it's mine and Aaron's channel. You know, I'm never moving anything around, because if you add multiple people in, it doesn't matter if they're the best person ever or a rubbish person. It just messes everything up, bro. It just like it completely. The bigger a group channel is, the more difficult it all becomes. That's all I'll say, bro. That's all I'll say. So you know, it's not. But obviously, I appreciate everything you've done. Of course, I do, man. You know, you've been on a shit ton of streams, and that means a shit ton of podcast. The Barnacle is just an yeah, bro. He is, man. It's like you help out, you be a good friend, and he just throws it in your face. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you help. It's just like he just throws it in your face and just acts like you're a bloody idiot and a bad person. Very, very ridiculous, man. All that sort of behaviour does is bloody, make people think, well, what an idiot this guy is. What's the point of helping him? You know. A message for all the good times on the podcast. But what the hell was I even going to say? I can't even remember now. I really don't have much more to say, to be honest. I think I was just waffling on about bad things. So yeah, organising things, guests pulling out. I mean, I'd honestly like to say that it's hard to motivate myself, because the podcast's hardly ever got any views. But bro, I just enjoyed them so much, it didn't really bother me. What else is there to really say, to be honest with you? Oh, bloody hell, it's getting a bit late now. I'm going to have to call it a day. But 50 minutes long, I didn't think it'd be this long. Yeah, I guess it's just been a good laugh, man. I'm really trying to think of some other things to say that are in regards to the podcast, like the difficulties and stresses of the podcast. I suppose sometimes when an episode's gone tits up, I've been a bit pissed off there. I'm not going to name the guest, to be honest, but there's one person who's been on in the past who's just been a bit of a, I don't know, just like a bit arrogant with points and trying to say the most edgy. Not you, George, by the way, but I'm not going to say which guest it was. Okay, I don't know. Let's just say like guests who are a bit arrogant. There's hardly been any, but guests who are a bit like, oh, well, you're wrong, I'm right, you're an idiot type thing. Why are you saying that for? When in reality, everyone's entitled to think what they want to think. You know, obviously, I know I have a joke to say, Liam, the Phantom Menace is shit, and how can you like this film? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not seriously trying to be patronising or a prick to people, you know. Trying to think of anything else to say, really. It's been a good laugh. We'll do some once in a while. Hopefully, we down the line we might do some regularly again, but Who knows, eh? Who knows? Check out James the Coltrane. Actually, yeah, I was going to say, even though earlier I mentioned, oh, I want to do a podcast that actually gets a load of views. Surprisingly, there actually has been a few episodes that I've got a lot of views on the podcast. The history of Callum's Corner, nearly 2K. Tosspot, 1.5K. Draw on Tosspot, 700 views. Funky Dinosaur, 414 views. Ed Bound, 186. Copper Cab, History of Copper Cab. I didn't count that as a podcast, but I guess that one did quite well. Social media's effect on society, Carl Pilkington discussion. Viewing it, 96 views. Reviewing every Star Wars movie, 95 views. So you know what I'm saying? Like there have been ones that have done well, man. There have been ones that have done well. Just gonna message you. Okay, sure. Let's have a look. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Well, I haven't heard that joke a million times before. No, bro, my beard's been a lot bigger than this before, man. A lot bigger. I think I'm getting to the stage where it's getting too hairy, but I think it still looks quite slick, to be honest with you. But yeah, what the hell else is there to say? Trying to think of some more stuff to briefly say before I end this episode. That's completely just made me laugh. What you've sent me, the message you sent me. I'm really trying to think what else there is to say. I mean, we've done well to do so many episodes. Oh yeah, the views aspect. Yeah, so there has been podcasts that have done well still. So, and you know what, down the line maybe Deck does hop on in a few months. I don't know. But I'm not going to be in situations where, I'm saying do a podcast this week because and then someone pulls out, and then do a podcast this week. Oh, someone pulls out. I mean, I hope if James the Coltrane does well, I can be that person who's a guest on someone else's podcast, as long as it's a podcast that's had a few episodes, so I can watch the podcast and see what the person's talking about. Because obviously, I know you, George, went on that one person's podcast, and I said it didn't look like a good idea because they had no episode. You don't want to be the first guest on someone's podcast, bro. The Callum's Corner 1,900. That's the most viewed podcast. There are other videos that have done better than that, but when it comes to podcasts, that's the number one. But yeah, you don't want to be the first guest on someone's podcast because at the end of the day, you want you want to see what that person's like before you go on the podcast. So any new starters, if you are going to get loads of guests on a podcast, definitely do ones with your friends first so they can see what you're actually like as a person. Because it's just not a good idea to risk it unless it's someone who's already got a YouTube channel you can get a vibe from. What's the top view? I mean, if you start your own podcast, I don't mind because I know who you are. You're my friend. Of course, I'd be up for coming on your podcast and answering your questions. What are you on about? Pissed? Oh yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah. Because I'm really going to wrap this up in a moment. Yeah, it was because of he was just a really sarky, idiotic person. The host, wasn't he? He was just really sarky, really weird. I think he was just some odd bod who saw your Twitter and just wanted to have some argument with you. That's what I personally think. But I could be wrong. But yeah, so I guess my advice, this will be the last thing, I guess, giving advice on podcasts. If you're going to start a podcast, make sure you enjoy doing it. Get your friends on. Try and get some guests on. I guess if you want it to do well, get as big guests as possible, but it's very difficult to get them on. Talk about relevant stuff, I suppose, but make sure you're enjoying it first and foremost. That's the most important thing. You started 1 month ago, fair enough. I mean, if you want to wait for James the Coltrane to do well, once I've got the Red Dead video done and the Lego Star Wars video done, then I don't know, that could help your podcast. I don't know. Or I can just come on now and then come on down the line. I don't know. It'll be quite funny you being in charge of the whole stream and just asking me stupid stuff. Well, hopefully it's serious questions. Hopefully it's not stupidity and daftness. And yeah, exactly, yeah, you do that a lot, don't you? Yeah, I guess that's all I've got to say, really. Spend your time wisely, when it comes to creative stuff. There will be podcasts down the line, just nowhere near as many as now. What else is there to say? Good laughs, good bands, good podcast. Yeah. Hopefully check out Witty Gentle live streams because they're quite a lot of good fun. Yeah, and check out James the Coltrane. Obviously, I'll put the video on this. I'll put my video on the community tab for ALP. So if there are any ALP fans who are interested, they can click on that video. Also, I guess it gives you more incentive, doesn't it? Rather than coming on this podcast for 3 or 4 hours. Well, not 3 or 4 hours, but you know what I mean? Rather than coming on the podcast 2 hours once or twice a week, or once or twice every 2 weeks, or 3 weeks or every month. It gives you more time to focus on your own stuff, so that's definitely a positive for you. But yeah, got nothing else to say, really. I can't believe it's ended up nearly being an hour, and only you, GC, have been watching, so thanks so much for watching for most of the stream. All I got to say for today. Yeah. Take care. Have a good one. Oh, well, any final thoughts or words that you want to put in the comments, GC? I'll take it that you. Oh, forgot. Oh, wait, cool. Sorry, I thought you were going to put something daft then. Cheers for 5 years and 210 episodes. Don't forget to do drugs, kids. Well, that's George's message. See you later, everyone. Take care. Peace. Have a good one.